Welcome, everybody, to the WAVEcast, Episode 8, your source for all things WAVEcast. We so appreciate you and the support of everyone around Metro Detroit, the country, and actually the world for that matter. WAVE stands for Welcoming All, Valuing Everyone. We are a nonprofit that serves people experiencing homelessness. Our mission is sharing love by providing mobile showers to those in need. And today we have a very special episode. We actually call this our coordinator chat. Our coordinators are the men, the women, the people, volunteers that actually make WAVE Project happen. So I'm so excited today to talk to a couple of our coordinators and actually share their stories and, a little bit of their experience with WAVE Project, just so you can not only get to know them, but get a real life true vision of what it's like to serve with WAVE Project and be connected to helping people experiencing homelessness. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce you to two of my good friends, some of the finest Americans you will ever see, Mr. George Hammer and Chris Marold. How's it going, guys?
Hey, great. Good morning, Todd.
We are so grateful to have you guys as a part of the WAVE Project family. And as coordinators, just to let everybody know, out of the kindness of your heart, truly, you both volunteer with WAVE Project. You do so many times a month, and truly, I can say this with confidence, WAVE Project would not be happening without you. So thank you very, very much for all you do and who you are. Guys, I want to open up by just asking you to share a little bit about yourselves, who you are, maybe your family, what you do. Who is George? Who is Chris?
You want to take it first, George?
Sure. Well, good morning. Thanks, Todd, for having us. It's a pleasure working for WAVE, and your leadership is fantastic, and your guidance with WAVE Project, and to see it grow over the last several years has been a great journey to be on with you. So thanks for having us. And my name's George Hammer, and I'm married to Danielle Hammer, and we have two beautiful girls, Carol Ann and Faith. I work for a Trickle Title Agency, and I'm in the sales department there. And I've been doing WAVE now, I think, since you guys started. And I don't remember if it was 2018, 17 now. It's been a blur since this last year's kind of thrown a wrench in everything. So yeah. So I know we found out about WAVE first. My wonderful wife, whose heart is much bigger than mine, kept telling me, "Hey, Todd, and people are getting this thing started, these barbecues at this church in Mount Clemens. We should do it." And I said, okay, well, give me the day and the time, and let's go. And now we're here, and I'm happy to see WAVE grow and be a part of it.
Awesome. Love you, man.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Chris. I'm a Michigan native. I've lived in Michigan my whole life. So I'm married with Shannon, got a dog. So that's the extent of our family. But I got involved with WAVE Project about 2 years ago. The church I belong to hosts a warming center, and for about 2 weeks in the winter. And our pastor had heard about the WAVE Project, and actually some of our members had actually volunteered with it. So we got a hold of Todd to see if they would be willing to do that back in 2019 and 20 to come and host the showers. And it was a great 2 weeks that we had. And then we had it back again in the 2020-21 season. And with the coronavirus, we weren't quite sure how it would work out. And actually, it turned out, for the better. We were still able to have the showers. We actually had more showers. We're able to host the truck more nights than the previous year. And that's how I got more involved this year. It's just, freeing up some of the other coordinators and just stepping into running the shower with the volunteers during our warming center.
That's awesome. So with that being said, I really wanted to try to connect our audience to, maybe their personal story or, the ways that they might be able to connect here. So for the person who might be going to a local church, or the person, I don't know, who maybe doesn't even believe in God, but walks down the street and sees somebody in need, or has this nudge that they want to make an impact in the world, Can you just describe for them kind of what that was like for you? What led you outside of our wonderful significant others or some of those things, but intrinsically, like what led you to want to step out personally and, how that manifested with your volunteerism with Wave Project?
Sure, I'll go first here, Todd. And yeah, so I think for me, I had for a number of years helped out through Kensington and some other churches we were at with McCrest. So that was really kind of where I started off, and I'd always do the overnight shift, so the shift nobody wanted, and it was a good opportunity to interact with people I wouldn't normally interact with. Under underserved people, homeless people, people trying to get back on their feet, and it really kind of opened my eyes to lose some of those stereotypes we have for people
Sure.
in those situations.
Yeah.
And and McCrest obviously it's a great organization. They travel around, so it's usually once a year or so you get to help at whatever church you're at. And I always wanted to do more because after seeing that and meeting some great volunteer people that I'd met and having conversations with them, and then just hearing people's stories, it really helped me better to relate to what they're going through and understanding that. I'm fortunate in the situation I'm in to always have been employed, have have a solid family, and have a good family now, and we're all kind of sometimes one incident or one thing away from potentially being in that situation. So when we started with the barbecues, it was great at the well among Clemens to further be able to help out in the community and being a mobile shower coordinator. I know we had talked it was during the pandemic, so it was hard because excuse me, there was no more barbecues and things had changed a lot. So once you started opening up the showers and the volunteers, I volunteered, and it was freezing outside in the middle of winter, and I'm like, what am I doing here? But it was and you'd ask hey, you want to be a mobile shower coordinator? And at first I was like, oh man, this would be, I don't know if do I want to do this every weekend, every other weekend? But, it's been a fantastic experience. Like I said, interacting with people has changed my perspective on a lot of things. Being more understanding of people's stories. We never know what's going on in people's lives or how they came in those situations. When you talk to people and you get to know them a little bit, even just through one conversation, that hey, a lot of these people were just regular people and had jobs and had this, and something happened, disability, whatever it is, and has led them down this path. And it's good to be able to help out in whatever way I can, and to see Wave grow. And now I know you're looking to purchase a van and have another service out there, which is awesome. And I'm sure Chris would share the same thing. It's just meeting some of these volunteers is fantastic too. To meet people who care and want to help other people. It's sad in this world we live in today. It seems like if you go on social media anywhere, it's like, oh, everyone's so mean to each other, and everyone's just so mean. But when you have an opportunity to talk to people and work with people, you don't know their background or anything they do, and you just know they're out there trying to love other people and help other people. So it's been fantastic to see that side instead of always the negative, but see people out there and not knowing their backgrounds or who they voted for or whatever they have, but everyone working together to help those in need. So I look forward to the future and where Wave's going, and hope they help you guys grow help Wave grow through the future and get more involved when we can.
Well, help us grow, man. You're a big part of it.
Yeah.
Running it. Chris, what about you, my man?
Yeah, so my story is similar to what George had. I started I guess serving with the homeless or the population probably about 12 years ago. There was a need at a church that we partnered with, and so got involved there. And I think my my perception, my thoughts on that has changed over time. I think when I first started, it was more, it felt like an obligation, something I should do. But it's as you get to know the people, and you start to just hear their stories. It's sort of built the, it's truly something that sometimes just based on people's circumstances, they get into this situation.
Yeah.
Talking with people. I've talked to a former firefighter who was
Yes.
unfortunately homeless for
Dennis?
a
Was that his name? Dennis?
yeah, uh-huh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. So yeah, and it really hits home that if it just based circumstances based on family support structure, a whole host of things that you could find yourself in that
Mm.
situation too. And it just, having compassion and helping people, build a foundation for them, whether that's through the warming shelter or the programs that are offered, such as Wave, to really lift them up and help them get back on their feet. And what's been cool about the showers, and I noticed during the first season, the warming center that I had been working with, we offered a lot of services. Obviously, we had the shelter in the evening, but we had the dinner, we had haircuts, we had clothing, we had massages. So there was a there's a whole host of services, and really, I noticed with the showers, just the excitement and just the smiles on the people's faces
Yeah.
after that. Obviously, you need food and everything, and massages are great too. But seeing those people come out of the showers when they hadn't had a shower for a week, it was just the big smile on their face, and they just felt refreshed. They felt like a human almost, and so that's what really drew me in even more so that first year is just seeing the reaction of that and being, wow, I didn't expect this. I didn't expect. I expect people to come out happy, that and smile, but man, they were ecstatic. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm going to get more involved with that. That's something that's really
That's wild.
providing a benefit. So
Yeah, Chris, actually, I remember that. I remember, I mean, because it was in the infancy of, Wave Project, and we're partnering up with you guys over at Genesis. And I remember Nate, the associate pastor over there, correct?
mhm.
Connecting you as kind of the point person for Genesis and getting to know you a little bit, but seeing you kind of hang around the fringes and sort of checking it out a little. And then, like, I remember you physically actually like coming closer and closer and closer, almost like you were being drawn in. And it's interesting to hear the other side of that. And then, like, now this year, like, I'm roping you into all these different leadership positions with us. So, like, be careful what you wish for, right?
Right.
But then the second thing I remember this year connecting with Dennis, and I think that's powerful, the point you make with that. It's easy for us for many reasons. Either we're busy or we have life going on, or even, if some of us are being honest, like we just don't want to engage, right? I mean, it's easier to keep it moving. Someone like our friend Dennis that we met, who was literally thanking us for doing something that really is not a lot, and then to hear his story about him being as courageous as he is to like serve our community and literally walk into like buildings that are on fire for other people, and he's thanking us for giving him a shower, and that's a really powerful point you make. So you guys are very humble, and I'm going to brag on you a little bit. Very capable, awesome members of not only our Wave Project community, but our faith communities and the community at large. But you're also just busy people, right? You work at GM, Chris. George, you're making it happen in Title Land. You have families, you have dogs. I think no matter who you are in America, we can connect with the idea of being a little bit busy. So I'd like you guys to speak to just the person that might be interested in volunteering. And I want to be clear, I'm not just talking about with Wave Project. Whatever cause moves your heart, even if it's something that you feel is like really small, right? Somebody that's thinking about volunteering, but they feel too busy, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I guess I would say, I mean, I've volunteered with a couple of different organizations throughout time, and time obviously is precious to us as as Americans and busy people, and sometimes you'll go in and volunteer, and sometimes you feel like you're not maybe needed, or you're just sort of doing a little bit, and you're not really involved, and it made me question sometimes, am I using my time effectively? I've noticed with the Wave Project that they keep you busy, but they don't overwork you. And what's neat is like you're doing the cleaning and that type of stuff, but you're also able to engage with the guests. So, in it not that you have to like engage with the guests. I mean, that's not a requirement, but it gives you different facets of
Sure.
it. Sometimes I notice with volunteering, you're behind the scenes and maybe you're cooking food or something. You don't really engage with the guests, and then other times you're at the front line. Here you're both, so it gives you a good mix. And I think it's you'll come away saying, "Oh yeah, that was a good way to spend my time." So.
Mm.
Yeah, and I would agree with Chris, and I would say, just to anyone interested in volunteering, whether it's WAVE or any type of organization, whatever it is you're passionate about or want to help out or felt that kind of that spark inside of you, take a risk and do it. It'll be very rewarding in the end. I know, for me, it was difficult. I don't always like being in new situations and meeting new people and throwing myself into something I'm not comfortable with. When I started with McCrest years ago, it was kind of like, oh man, I'm going to be volunteering with people I don't know, with all these strange people. And, for me at the time it was very uncomfortable, but it like Chris was saying earlier, it is very rewarding with WAVE where we're helping people to have showers. I take for granted, we all take for granted, we wake up in the morning, we take a shower, we work out, we take a shower. Mm-hmm. And there are people who don't, in the whole world, but in this country, who don't have that luxury. When we were in Pontiac for a while, there was one gentleman who I think we were there 2 weeks, he only had a shower every 2 weeks when we came, the time we came over the winter. So, and to see, as Chris mentioned, to see his face, how happy he was like a changed person. He got to wash his hair and comb his hair and be clean. So whether it's for a few days or 2 weeks, but it's great. It's very rewarding to see that I'm playing a small part to help someone else have a little bit better life, whether it's a 5-minute shower or a 10-minute shower. But I think it helps, I know for me as well, it helps keep me grounded and helps me realize when I'm starting to feel like, oh, yeah, my life's such a bummer. Why don't I, have more money or have more this, have more that? Helping with WAVE puts things in perspective that there are many people who don't have the benefits we have, and to be able to be a small part of that is very rewarding in knowing that you're helping a bigger picture. So I would just encourage people to take a risk, take a chance, and with WAVE, it's 2 hours on a Saturday. I know we're all busy, we all don't have time for things, but we all have a lot of time. If we look at our screen time, I'm sure we have hours and hours of time we may be able to carve out a little bit here or there, but take the chance and give it a shot. And you never know what happens or who you meet. So I would encourage people to give it a shot.
Well, and I love that, guys. It's beautiful. George, you mentioned Jason in Pontiac. That's so powerful. Mm-hmm. To even to get to know him. And as you guys are talking, one of the added benefits is just community between coordinators and volunteers. As I look at the two of you, less than a year ago, I knew you guys, but I couldn't confidently call you friends, and now I call you brothers. So we get to meet the guests, we get to build relationships with site partners, people that are running the ministries there, but also we're building community within our coordinators, our volunteers. And for me, at least, and I would venture to say for you guys as well, that's a beautiful thing to have people that aren't necessarily the same, all walks of life, all different types of people, but are brought together through the common thread of service, and we can build community and relationship. Gentlemen, publicly, I want to thank you. This is our coordinator chat, our coordinator spotlight. For the people that are listening, truly, George and Chris are actively being the hands and feet of Jesus. They are two of many coordinators that make Wave Project go, but sincerely, truly, everyday examples of just making a little bit of time, putting yourself out there, being brave, being cold sometimes, George, but making a difference along the way. So I want to thank you, gentlemen, for being on the podcast and for all you do. And please forgive me in the future for, all of the many asks that I make and all the times, I ask too much of you. So thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
Well, once again, I just want to say how much we appreciate not only George and Chris, but all of our volunteers, all of our supporters, all of our sponsors. We truly are a small grassroots nonprofit, and those gentlemen and so many more are just such a wonderful blessing to Wave Project, and we would not be able to do what we do without them. Please remember that if you are a fan of Wave Project, if you are a part of our Wave Project family, or even if you are just a supporter of loving people experiencing homelessness or those in need, please like this podcast, share this podcast, leave a comment on YouTube for us if you can, and subscribe. All of those actions only take a couple of seconds, but they really help us. Also, on the social media, I know a lot of people are taking a little bit of a break or just scrolling through. Anytime on any number of our posts, if you could hit that like button or that share button, those actions alone are really helping us. I'm also super excited to announce that our Wave Project Essentials van has been launched, and we are so very excited to get the van on the streets. Just to kind of give you a big idea of what it is. Imagine a commercial high-top van that serves as a mobile clothing closet. It has a service window on the side, much like a food truck, that we can distribute hygiene kits and backpacks and warming bundles and socks and t-shirts and any other types of essentials directly to people in need. We envision it as a companion service to the shower service, but also we can visit warming centers, different shelters, even different places in the community where we know people experiencing homelessness are hanging out, and we can provide those essentials to them. So thank you so much for your ongoing support. But if you are excited about the Essentials van, I encourage you, please visit waveproject.org and donate. We are in need of some funds to try to get that program off the ground and actually support the mobile shower service as well. We are just so grateful and humbled for the continued support, and we are looking forward to a wonderful summer. So check out the website, click on the Get Involved tab, and we just invite you out. And who knows, in not too long, we can have a coordinator chat with you. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.